My name is Hannah, and this is my year of less stuff. Hey y'all, hi. I'm still here in the erstwhile Poema studio. We're in the middle of packing up, which is why the background is such a shambles, and in fact I am now noticing that you can see a trash can in the background. Classiest YouTube background ever. But I still have light and I have everything set up, so I thought I would go ahead and film this video anti-hauling my Sephora loves list. Before we get into the meat of the video, I'm going to show you my banner again. If you haven't seen the video of me making this Black Lives Matter banner out of what was going to be fabric for tango clothes, but I'm not making tango clothes anymore, so I made use of a bunch of the extra fabric to make this gorgeous huge banner. It's three-dimensional, it's textured, it's dynamic, and it would look beautiful in your home. It's being auctioned off on eBay, and I'm going to donate all of the proceeds. So check out the video, check out the auction, and let's go ahead and get into the meat of the video. All right, I'm gonna start with the makeup that's actually in my cart, because I kind of have two tiers of interest in makeup in my Sephora account. So I've got my loves list, which is where I put things when I'm kind of trying to like just file them away for later. I don't want to forget the moment that I had wanting that thing. So I'll like put it on my loves list to go back and remember it at another time for some reason. Why? Why do I do that? If I forget about it in real life, why do I need my loves list to remind me of it in the future? I don't know. There's something to be said for having like a fake shopping cart or a fake wish list online, because when you add something to that shopping cart, when I like add something to my loves list instead of adding it to my shopping cart, or to my wish lister account instead of to my shopping cart, it's a way of like going through the paces of choosing the thing, but without spending any money, without acquiring anything new. And then if you do forget about it, when you go back and see it later, a lot of times you're like, why did I even want that? And that reminds you that your instincts in the moment to buy a thing aren't always good. In fact, I suspect that I'll run across a lot of that in the course of this video, because I haven't glanced over my loves list in a long time. I'm doing this completely off the cuff. So I'll add things to my loves list, and then if I really think I'm really interested in something, I'll add it to my shopping cart. And I'll sort of like let it hang out in my shopping cart for a while. And every time I go to Sephora and I look at the website, I see it in my shopping cart, and then I'm like, oh yeah, maybe I'll buy that. It's just, it shows extreme interest. You know what? I just remembered that I was gonna put a different lip color on for this video and I forgot to do it. I'm gonna do it right now before we go on. This is, I'm so into these lipsticks right now, you guys, the Glossier Play Vanillic Lips. I was wearing Pony in the other video I filmed, and now I'm gonna put on Disco. Oh yeah, I feel like that was a good decision. I love a red lip with a pink shirt. Okay, here's what's in my shopping cart. There are 4 items currently in my fantasy shopping cart at Sephora. The first one is another color of the Gucci Voile formula. So I purchased one of these for review. I purchased the red one, Gucci Red, and I love it because it's this gorgeous, sheer, nourishing, easy to wear, and very, very fancy feeling lip product. But I just don't wear reds as often. I reach for nudes much more often than red. So I've had many occasions on which I've reached for that and then been like, I really want to wear this product today, but I don't want to wear a red lip today. And that has happened so many times that I was driven to go to the listing on Sephora and find like the version that I wish that I had on all of those occasions. And I picked the color called Katrine Sand. It's either, I think it must be pronounced Katrine Sand. It's just like a sandy brownie nude, and I know that if I had it, I would wear it all the time. It's so beautiful. I absolutely lust for it. Probably will never buy it, but I want it enough that it's hanging out in my Sephora cart. Oh, this is an anti-haul video. I'm not just telling you what it is I want. I'm telling you why I'm not gonna buy it. Why I'm not gonna buy it is just because I have so many lip products and it's $42. I think if I were gonna buy it, maybe I would have bought it already. The things that are in my cart are maybe at a higher risk for me actually buying them someday. That's how I feel right now, but I'm always going back to it and then removing things from the cart. So I really don't know. I don't know what my feelings truly are about Katrine Sand and the Gucci Voile Sheer formula. I think I fantasy want it, And just the reality of spending $42 on a sheer nude lip product when I have so many glosses and so many beautiful things, and I wish I wore red more often anyway. It's just, it would be like a dumb thing, not a dumb thing to do. It would be unlike me. It would be unlike me to do that. I doubt that I'm going to buy it. Another thing that's in my cart right now is the famous, on my channel, Dior Backstage Glow Face Palette in the new color, which is called Glitz. So it's the 002 Glitz. I wanted this for almost no, it couldn't have been my entire no-buy year because it came out during my no-buy year. It was after it came out during my no-buy year. I wanted it so bad, the first colorway. And I indeed planned to purchase it on January 1st. And then on January 1st, I actually was in a Sephora. It was there. I had it in my hands and I was just like, there's no passion. There was nothing about me that wanted to buy it. I had wanted to buy it before. And then when I was finally allowed to buy it, I just couldn't get it up for it. And it faded from my mind. Then they came out with a new one. I kind of wanted it, didn't want it. And then Teresa got it and she started talking all about it. And she, I think, pointed it out in a recent highlighter collection video as being like her favorite highlighters or one of her favorite highlight formulas of all time. That rekindled my interest. And I went on to Sephora and I put it in my shopping cart. And that's why it's there. Here's the thing. Powder highlights are on their way out in my world. And I already have more than I can use. And even though this is Dior and it's very beautiful and very cute and I want it, I do want it. And I do have a feeling that the formula is a little sheerer and might be easier for me to work with as someone who doesn't love like that stripe of metallic glow on the cheeks. But it's just, what would I be doing spending $45 palette when I wear a cream highlight almost every single day of my life? And I feel like the 2, or at this point I might have 3 powder highlighters. That's all that I have, and even then I feel like I have too many. So why would I literally buy 4 more? I'm not going to. Anti-hauled. The third thing on my list, this is harder than I thought it would be because the reason that these things are currently in my cart is that I feel like I'm 2 steps closer to buying them than I am to buying any other makeup. So it's hard to start with these because I don't really feel like anti-hauling them. But I am going to do it because, to be honest, I actually really don't think I'm going to buy these things. Knowing myself in reality, it's just there's part of me that wants to live in the feeling that I might buy them, and that's why they're in my cart. So go figure. There's another color of the Tom Ford cream and powder in my Sephora cart right now. It's the color called Fleur Neige. And this is a simple matter of practicality, she tells herself. I use the one that I have so much. I wear that S almost every day. Every time I don't know what I want to wear or don't feel like wearing eyeshadow, but I want to for some reason, like if I've just dyed my brows particularly dark like I just have, or I've just cut my bangs particularly short like I just have. One of the things that balances those problems out is having something on my eyelids, like with this strong brow and these short bangs, a bare eye with lashes, not false lashes, but with mascara, which is what I often wear these days, is a bit of a strong look. Like it looks like something went a little bit wrong somewhere. So on a day like today where I didn't feel like putting on eyeshadow, but I felt like I had to, what I almost always do on that occasion, today I used a Rowan quad because I was filming, but what I almost always do is I reach for that Tom Ford. The Rowan, they often come in handy in that capacity as well, actually. But I use the Tom Ford these days more because of that sheer glittery topper that just covers up all manner of sins. When you're putting on your cream shadow, anything uneven, anything slightly patchy, hastily blended or anything, just wash over it with that sheer sparkle and it looks wet and flawless and sophisticated, and I absolutely love it. So I wear it so much that old voice in my head that's like, if you love this, you should get another one, which I have proven to be a false claim time and time again. And the way that I've proven it to be false is by actually going and buying another one and then realizing that I'm never going to love it as much as I loved the first one. So I know that I shouldn't get this. It's also more gray, more taupe, more cool toned. Part of why I love the one that I have is because it's that warm bronze without being too reddish. It's the perfect color. So why would I get basically the second runner-up? Why would I spend $62 on the second runner-up when I already have the gold star winner of this line. I don't know, but I put it in my Sephora cart. Didn't buy it though, and probably never will. Similar questions about the fourth thing. There are only 4 things in my Sephora cart. Similar questions I could ask myself about this one. It's the Kaja Beauty Bento Bouncy Shimmer Eyeshadow Trio. It's only $21. It's 3 sheer shimmer shades for the eyelids, and I've tried it. Back when it was new, every time I went to Sephora last year, I put this on my eyes. Every time I tried it on, I loved how it looked, and I came this close to buying it so many times, and I've never purchased it, and I just can't seem to let it go. I'm always putting it into my Sephora cart and taking it out of my Sephora cart. Here's the thing. The 3 shimmer shades, formulaically, they're really similar to Kava from the Gold palette, which is a really similar formula, or is very similar in use to the Tom Ford sheer shimmer that I was just talking about. But I already have Kava, and there's another shade in the Gold palette that's the same formula, and I have the Tom Ford one. So I have 3 options for that like super sheer wet look glitter shade, and this would just be buying 3 more in slightly different colors, and I just really don't need to do that. Even though compared to all the other things in my cart, it's much, much cheaper. I just don't need to spend even the $21 on getting what would essentially be repeats in my collection. They would be functional repeats, or I think that I've heard the term functional dupes. They wouldn't be dupes in terms of color, but they would be dupes in terms of function. All right, let's look at the actual loves list, which is where my desires go to die. So there's another Kaja Beauty Bento box at the top in another color. The color that's in my cart is Rose Water. It's like a bunch of kind of pinks. And I think the reason I kept that one in my cart and put Toasted Caramel, the gilded bronze tones, on the loves list is that Toasted Caramel would actually be color dupes for the ones that I have, which are those shimmery wet look toppers. They're all, the ones I have are like gold and bronze, and this is a group of gold and bronze shimmery wet look top coats. So I shuffled them off of the mortal coil. I shuffled them off the mortal coil of my shopping cart, and I put them onto the loves list because it would be even dumber of me to buy the Kaja Beauty Bento Shimmer Trio in this colorway than it would be to buy it in the pink colorway. Oh, this is interesting. The next thing down on my list is the Buxom Wanderlust Primer-Infused Blush in the color Seychelles. This made it onto my loves list because of watching Lacey's blush video, her blush collection video where she's swatching all of her blushes. She swatched this and she raved about this formula, and this is like that bronzy nude cheek color for which I live. And I was like, oh, and Samantha also loves this, Samantha March. She's talked about this exact blush a lot on her channel, and I was like, it's the Hannah blush of my dreams, I've got to have it. So I put it briefly in my shopping cart, and then a few days later, or probably the next time I went to Sephora, I moved it onto my loves list and completely forgot about it. So I'm looking at it now and I'm like, from whence did that passion come? I have all the blushes I need. It's just like one more great nude blush, right? But at the time when I put it in my cart, my passion was so real. Similar story about the Dior Backstage Rosy Glow blush. I think that this is a new release. I put it in my shopping cart after having seen an Instagram. I think somebody featured it on Instagram, and it has this beautiful embossing in the top, like a really deep press that says Dior. It's so pretty, and I felt this covetousness when I saw those pictures. I was like, if I had this, I would love it. I would love it. I would feel those feelings of like luxury and abundance around it, and I would love using it. And I was just like, I would love it. It would be so special. I would love it. It would be worth it. I would love it. Even though the color is not even, I put the color Coral. I think of the 2 that they came out with, it's the one that's less pink. So of the 2, it's the one that I would prefer. But just picking out of all the blush colors in the world, it's not a color that I want, right? Like I don't want it. And that's why I'm not going to buy it. But at the time I was very compelled. There was a moment during which I got really into the Armani, the idea of the Armani Neo Nude, which I haven't really seen people reviewing. This like came and went without me realizing what was going on. Then I became aware of it, and then I was like, these products seem very me. So there's the Armani Neo Nude Foundation, which is supposed to be kind of like a fresh, almost like a sheer foundation. They have a very, very pale, warm-toned color in this foundation. It's color 0, fair with a neutral undertone. It looks almost gray. it's actually not warm toned, it's neutral, which is what I think that I mostly truly am, if not slightly warm toned. I just never see a newly released shade range from a luxury beauty brand like Armani with a shade where I look at that shade and I'm like, that's probably actually my color. So I got really interested in that. And then I got into the Armani. They have like a liquid blush and a liquid highlighter in these little tubes with like these nude packaging that's ombre, and it just looks so luxurious and so like no makeup, but very fancy. And I was looking over it and I was like, I want to buy all this. I want to try all of this. And maybe I'll review it for my channel. Ah! And so I put it on my loves list and then promptly completely forgot about it. This is the first time I'm remembering about it. So all of those are on my loves list. Why? I have beautiful liquid blushes. I don't wear foundation. It's very expensive. You guys maybe don't want to see me review luxury makeup that's not even new. Like there's just, it all adds up to absolutely nothing when I think about buying those products. No interest, not anymore. Tower Beauty, there are a couple of Tower Beauty products on here. Tower Beauty was, I feel, really having a moment during the Sephora sale. I feel like every influencer that I follow, everyone this isn't true, I'm being hyperbolic, of course. A great many of the beauty influencers whom I follow bought Tower Beauty's bronzer and tint, like cheek tint, in the Sephora sale and then reviewed the products as part of their Sephora sale haul. And at that same time, I suddenly felt an unaccountable interest in Tower Beauty. They were trending for real, and they were also kind of trending in my soul. A lot of you had recommended them to me. When I first checked out Tower Beauty, I read the review, and this was before they began trending in real life, but I think when they were first on the Sephora website, when they were brand new, months and months ago, I looked into them, and the reviews seemed to indicate that the products were, they didn't dry down, that they were kind of like oily, like pigment suspended in oil, kind of like the RMS beauty lip and cheek things, which I don't like. I don't get along well with those kinds of products. So I was like, too bad, this looks like it's my aesthetic, but not my formula preference, and I completely forgot about them. Then everyone got all up on Tower Beauty during the sale, and then I suddenly got all up on them again, and I was like, I'm putting them on my loves list. I want to buy these. I should review them for my channel. But then I realized that I still have the same objection that I had when I first looked into them, which is that I don't think I would probably get along that well with the formulas. Maybe someday, but I just haven't thought about Tower Beauty in a long time. The Ciate London Dewy blush in Coconut, which they say is a bronze nude. I had completely forgotten about this product until I just saw it on my loves list. And this is a classic case where a cream blush was released. They had a nude or a brown nude color. I love brown nude cream blushes, and so I was just like, I was like, you know, it's just like, it's for me. They made it for me. I must honor that fact by putting it in my shopping cart or putting it on my loves list. And then I just forgot about it because I'm not in need of brown nude cream blush, and I don't really have particular interest in Ciate London, and I haven't really heard anything about this release after seeing it the first time, and I truly forgot about it. Not gonna buy it. I'm scrolling down on my loves list, which, by the way, we can't go through the whole thing, and there's like hundreds of items on it going back to my infancy, and I just never clear it off. So we're just kind of gonna stop when I feel like stopping, which is probably gonna be soon because I am running out of steam. But scrolling down, it's so interesting to see what's on here. Like, why? I put the mini retro palette, the Natasha Denona mini retro palette, which is another thing that I haven't even thought about since its release. When it came out, it was pretty cool. Right? But it's just one of those things, like, I definitely don't need it. I can make similar looks with tons of other eyeshadows that I already own. I don't covet it. I've never thought about it. I've never come close to buying it, but for some reason I put it on my loves list because I was just like, maybe someday, or maybe I'll change my mind. I don't know what the deal was with that. The Viseart Dark Edit eyeshadow palette. I must admit that this is a stunning palette for me. It's like my dream. In many ways, it's like my perfect Viseart palette. These dark, rich colors, these murky, swampy tones, the shimmers, the mattes, the fact that there's a black in there. I would use the butt out of this eyeshadow palette if I had it, and I think I would really, really love it. So I understand, unlike the mini retro palette, I understand why the Dark Edit palette is on my loves list. If I were to curate my loves list as like a true wish list, then it would probably be on it. It's like this kind of thing that's been on my wish list forever and ever. But the fact that it's been on my wish list forever and ever and that I haven't bought it tells the tale about why I can anti-haul it, because I just don't need this palette to create those kinds of looks. There's something to be said for loving a little palette in all of its edited glory, and the way that it's packaged, and the branding, and the way the shadows look together in their little package. Like, I do understand why one would be compelled to buy an eyeshadow palette even if one could make the looks from one's existing collection. I understand it. I'm just not there right now. Where I am is, I'm like, no more eyeshadow palettes, please. But I do really like looking at the little dark edit, and it's kind of a maybe one day thing, but probably not. I'm probably never going to buy that thing. Should we stop there? I think we should stop there. That's going to have to be it for today. We went through the 4 that were in the shopping cart and then like close to 10 probably that were on my actual wish list. Let's just have that be enough. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what's on either your Sephora loves list or in your shopping cart, not even necessarily at Sephora, but somewhere, something that you are kind of like faking yourself out about maybe buying, but that you are confident enough that you're not going to buy it, that you can anti-haul it in the comments. Don't forget to check out the auction for this beautiful handmade Black Lives Matter banner. I'll leave the link below, of course. And don't forget to take extra good care of yourself right now so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.